Hey guys, I wanted to do a review for a movie I watched 2 days ago that I was pretty hyped for called American Ninja. Put out by Olive Films, and the movie came out in '85. But yeah, this was a first time watch for me. I'd obviously heard of it, and I'd watched the Electric Boogaloo documentary recently, and they talked about this movie, and so I knew what to expect going in, and I was pretty hyped. Grindhouse Video in Tampa, they had a sale on their website, and they had all of them on sale, so I picked them up. And I gotta say, this was exactly what I thought it was gonna be. I was exceeded my expectations. I thoroughly enjoyed this a lot. Like, this was one of the most entertaining movies I've seen. Like, as far as like old movies being put out on Blu-ray, this was one of the more like enjoyable experiences I've had with a movie in recent times. It was just crazy. I'll give a basic plot line because I don't want to give anything away about the movie in case anybody hasn't seen it, because it's better to go in kind of not knowing anything like I did. But basically, Michael Dudikoff plays Joe Armstrong. He's enlisted in the army, and he gets embroiled in a lot of stuff between people, the army, and this gun runner on the island. There's a lot of stuff going on between all that, and Joe Armstrong finds himself in the middle of it, and has to kick ass basically. And he has like a childhood that's not really you don't discover till later. I don't want to give anything away, but the whole American Ninja thing will make sense and all that. But yeah, that's as much as I want to give on the plot, really. Just know there's a lot of ninja fighting. I mean, the gun runner on the island, he has a head ninja guy called Black Star Ninja, and he's like has this whole camp of ninjas, little squads. Like there's the red ninjas, the yellow ones, and well, the colored ones only get like 5 minutes of screen time, but the Black Star Ninja has a decent amount of time, and he has a squad of regular ninjas that like do an ambush, and that's one of the most badass scenes in it. The end, there's just a ninja slaughter pretty much because the black dude who he becomes friends with, this like Jack Black dude, he's badass. He comes in the back of this Jeep just mowing people down, just spraying them in the back of this Jeep, and it's badass. And the love interest, I think he was like the head military dude's daughter. She was smoking hot, and she was kind of annoying in the beginning, but you begin to like her or whatever. But yeah, she was really hot, and yeah, the acting in this was surprisingly a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Michael Dudikoff, he does a lot of staring. There's not a lot of dialogue, but he just there's like a lot of scenes where he's just like staring in the distance, and the camera will just kind of linger on it, and it's funny when you're watching it. Like it actually had me laughing, and I watch this alone. It's rare for me to start laughing out loud when I'm watching a movie alone, but uh, yeah, I just had a blast with this. The movie realistically is probably like a 6.5, a 7, but out of my pure enjoyment of it and the rewatchability of it, I bumped this up to like an 8.5. Um, if you like any cheesy '80s action, like just anything Cannon put out, or anything like just Rambo or Arnold Schwarzenegger or Van Damme or whatever, I mean, you gotta check this out. It's a badass movie. It just, yeah, it's just you gotta check your brain at the door, and just I loved it. I'm gonna watch this again pretty soon actually. But I actually watched it with the documentary yesterday, or not the documentary, the commentary yesterday with the director, and it was pretty good. And the guy who does all the special features, he moderated it. He did a pretty good job. It was an entertaining commentary. He gives a decent amount of information, like some cool anecdotes and stuff from the movie, and some facts like about when what the MPA wanted to cut, or what the Chuck Norris story, and they got into like just a bunch of stuff like the stunt doubles for the bike scene and stuff, which you'll know it if you've seen it. Um, but yeah, so it was pretty cool. It had me entertained to watch it again, the day after. And it has a Rumble in the Jungle, the making of American Ninja. And I think all of Films put these documentaries on, all four of them they put out. Like, I think it was like one big thing, and they just broke it down into segments and put them out on their versions. One, like if 4 had the segment about part 4. But yeah, it was like a 22-minute mini documentary, and it had interviews with the girl who played romantic interest, and she still looked really good today, I gotta say. And Michael Dudikoff, interviews with him and interviews with the director, and it was pretty cool. It was cool seeing what they all look like now and stuff. But so that's actually cool, that the fact that this has special features in the first place, because the last Hall of Film I reviewed, Stone Cold, I think had like 0 special features. I don't even think I had a commentary or anything. But yeah, so this has a commentary and the documentary and theatrical trailer, you know, and I give this props too, because I watch a lot of movies with subtitles, and this has English subtitles, and the All of Film's version of Stone Cold didn't have any subtitles. So I think they're stepping their game up, really, because the transfer was amazing. You know, there was a couple grainy shots at night that looked pretty grainy, and there was like a shoddy looking scene when like his childhood's discovered and he's handed over his sword and weapons and everything. There's like a weird, you'll know what I'm talking about when you watch it. It's the only scene that's like bad looking, but other than that, the whole movie is pretty much outside in a jungle, so everything pops. It's actually a beautiful transfer, other than that one scene, and that one scene's only like 10 seconds, so it doesn't really make anything bad about the movie. But yeah, I definitely recommend picking this up. Like I said, I got all 4 of them, so tonight I'm probably going to watch part 2, and I'll watch it with the commentary and special features, and I'll let you know if it's equal to this one or worse or better. I've heard they get worse as they go along, and most people say that about Canon movies when they were heading into the late 80s, early 90s, because everything was cheaper and all that. But I mean, to be honest, my favorite Canon films from back in the day were the ones that people thought looked the cheapest. You know what I mean? Like, I think Top Dog, I don't know if that was put out by Canon, but that was just one that came to mind. But a lot of them, though, like, I actually liked them when they got cheaper, because it was more nostalgic for me, late 80s, early 90s. So I'm kind of actually hoping they get better as they go along, and it's kind of what I'm expecting, so who knows. But anyways, guys, so next video will be American Ninja 2. Peace.